Just got hit up by work.
You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Since 96, MLS has been the youngest soccer league. From 10 teams to 30, playoffs and parity. Battered MLS bring local guests to cover games. Analysis firsthand, not Google like other lanes. Stats and recaps cover the West and East. Can't forget, we're on Sean Johnson. Watch every week. DPs for the elite. 10 game get you the vets. Playoff trees as American as it gets. It's time to turn off the world, grab a drink and let's go. We're Battered MLS fans, so lock in on the show. Battered MLS fans, so lock in on the show.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 88 of the Battered MLS Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Gunn, and alongside me, I got two girly girls here worrying about the cold weather. What do you guys got going on here? Let me start from my right to your left, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
I'm afraid to speak because then like the precipitation will leave my mouth and I need to keep as much warmth as possible to prepare for the 2027 season.
All right. And then Mr. Hot Chocolate himself, Mr. Tommy One Time. How you doing, sir?
I got Kahlua in this thing. It's great.
Kahlua?
A little Kahlua and coffee.
I don't know what that is.
That's great.
What?
I don't know what Kahlua is.
Kahlua? You don't know what Kahlua is? You're wild, bro.
Okay. Is it coffee? Is it hot
It's
chocolate?
a liqueur. It's a liqueur to put in your coffee.
Liqueur, yes.
Give you a little bit of a buzz.
Who puts liquor in their coffee?
A lot of people?
I mean, a lot of people do.
I've
What?
never heard
That's
of anybody
like a-
putting liquor in coffee.
What? That's like a thing that you see, like when people have their morning coffee cup, like you
No
know,
way.
it's like infused with liquor. Are you serious?
I've never heard of somebody drinking liquor with coffee.
I mean, I don't.
yeah.
do
Who's
that.
drinking
Look,
liquor
this
at
is
7 in the
Kahlua.
morning?
You
You
probably
can drink coffee at night, like when you go out to
That's
dinner.
true.
Like your
No, I
your
drink
dessert.
coffee at nighttime, but
It's like a dessert
never
drink.
liquor. That's weird. Okay,
It
well,
is.
okay. So,
Like
all
a-
right. So,
a
Tommy
White
has
Off to a great
Russian,
start.
Black Russian.
Never, but whatever. So obviously, the whole conversation here is based around today's news of the day, right? We had planned to come on here and talk about a couple of different things, but the show has now shifted because the news of the day is that the MLS came out and they announced that they are finally officially lining up with the European soccer calendar, or football calendar for those that want to be proper. And we are going to see a shift in 2027. Some people thought that it would happen in 2026 after the World Cup, which kind of I thought made sense, right? You have the World Cup, and then you have a chance to really promote the start of the league right after the World Cup's over. They decided to wait an extra year, but it's happening. So I guess I'll start with the very general question and ask the people in the chat also, because we'd love for you guys to chime in. General thoughts on the news. And I'll start with Mr. Tommy One Time, because you actually live in Ohio, which, the weather isn't very nice all the time, like it is down in Miami.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of topics that you could talk about, but I guess the first one is the weather. Since we're dressing warm for this, it could get difficult around this time of the year. And I go back to, and I don't remember when that game was, but do you remember that game, the United States men's team playing in Cincinnati, where it was like negative 20 degrees and everybody just looked like they were going to get frostbite? You think of games like
I
that.
think 2 players did get frostbite.
Did they?
Yes.
It's cold. I mean, it's absolutely cold up here around that time. Now, snow games can be fun. It's just miserable when it's getting to 10, 20 degrees here. And depending on the year, it can get pretty miserable here. When it's like, because you're playing into, I don't know, they haven't talked about like when December it's going to cut off, but man, you got to hope that the league understands this time of the year and is able to schedule around it to maybe not have as many games here in the East, because it can get miserable. But with that said, how many years have you seen Major League Baseball where they bring games? They don't learn they don't learn from the previous seasons, and opening day you have snow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have snow games that get canceled here. Now they're not going to cancel for snow, but still, it could be miserable around here.
Well, we've seen games like that this year. The Champions Cup I remember it was KC hosting Miami, and I remember it was a miserable game, and you could tell by just the quality of the play on the pitch. Like, it was just a terrible game for the players on the pitch. The quality wasn't great. You know, people may criticize the MLS quality, but if you watch that game, it was terrible. So
It's fun to
the
watch on
quality
TV
is-
though.
Oh,
when you're
yeah,
not
but being
there?
in person, it has to be terrible.
Well, I mean,
Chris,
well, barely. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but these guys in the MLS sat in their conference room for a third time this month and decided to do this right after the
got White
Canadian
Claw?
Premier League. Just nice. We got that drank. That, yeah, I get it. It's a Thursday. Let him turn up. So this decision was made literally after the Canadian Premier League played in a literal snowfest in Canada, where it was a complete disaster. You barely saw the bicycle kick. So let me just break this down for you, because you didn't bring it in. You asked Tommy about the season in December. So apparently the season is supposed to start in August, right? And they play
if you
through
want-
a
before you go into that, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but since you want to get into that, let me just put up, just in case anybody's missed it, the official release, right? So the official release MLS competition calendar change. Major League Soccer today announced a shift in the competition calendar, aligning the league schedule with the world's top soccer leagues, Europe, basically. Beginning in the summer of 2027, MLS will adopt the summer to spring season format, making one of the most significant developments in the league's history. And then here is where the calendar is, and it says it's going to start in July, actually. So it's going to start in July, and it's going to go all the way through May. And let me just finish this last one, Chris, and then I'll let you go. So that's what the calendar is, and then we can pull this back up if you want after. And then this is the last one. 2027-28 MLS regular season will kick off in mid to late July 2027 and conclude with the Audi MLS playoffs in May 28th, late May 2028. MLS will observe a midwinter break from mid-December through early February, with no league matches scheduled in January. And before the change of the new calendar, MLS will stage a short season from February to May 2027, featuring 14-game regular season, the playoffs, and the MLS Cup. And the results will determine the 2027 qualifications for the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, Canadian Championship, and CONCACAF Champions Cup. All right, Chris, I'm sorry to cut you off. You can go on.
So that short season, I'm going to call the Coupon Cup, because anybody that wins that is literally like an asterisk with it. And I'm saying that now, even if Inter Miami wins it. But here's the thing. You asked, Tommy, when are they off in December? Half the month they have off in December, all of January, and then the beginning of February. Basically saying we're done because we're competing against the NFL. But we're not that dumb, because we're going to shut it down right in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Hopefully, we get to start right after the Super Bowl, and then we can be able to get more fans in the stands, even though it's going to be freezing above I-50 or I-60 in this country. I think it's an awful decision. I think, honestly, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to go to these games. Sitting through 90-plus minutes in that snow or in those cold, freezing temperatures. I mean, Vancouver and Chicago, you guys better prepare yourselves.
Well, we'll have some guests from up north, maybe in the coming weeks. Maybe next week we'll get some people, because I know we had this topic of conversation at some point last year with our guests from Vancouver and Minnesota, I remember. And it was a conversation where they said that they were dreading something like this. But I will tell you that selfishly, I didn't want it to happen, just because I enjoy going to games in the summertime. I feel like with everything else kind of not going on outside of baseball, it was something that I personally looked forward to. So selfishly, that's why I wanted it to keep it that way. But taking a step back and seeing the alignment of the calendar with the big leagues in Europe, I understand that is an important aspect of it, especially when it comes to transfer windows. I think that a lot of players transfer, the big names always transfer to us when we're halfway through the season usually. LAFC got Son, this year in August, almost at the end of the year. Inter Miami got Messi in July, almost halfway through the season. So I understand that aspect for it. And I also, after seeing the calendar laid out the way it did today, it doesn't bother me as much anymore. I kind of like it. I like that they're not going to go up against the NFL playoffs like you brought up. Like they are completely avoiding the NFL
Yes.
playoffs.
Absolutely.
When it comes to December and January, I think that there's a chance, because I heard that the Leagues Cup is going to stick around. I think that there's a chance that they end up inserting the Leagues Cup somewhere in there, and what they do is that they make a hub, a couple city hub, Miami, Houston, San Diego, and they'll have the Leagues Cup. Maybe even they'll play in Mexico. I don't know. Maybe we'll finally see them play in Mexico, and I bet you they're going to do something like that, because La Portura, that the Mexican league plays, I believe they have a break at some point around there also. So don't be surprised if we don't have a full 2-month break, because these guys need to stay in action, right? They can't just have 2 random breaks in off season and then middle of the season that they don't do anything. So don't be surprised if the Leagues Cup just kind of lands right in there and they just find a different place where they can just have games where they kind of just all playing in the same cities or stadiums. Tommy hates the idea.
Well, Leagues Cup, I hate in general, but
Okay.
I do. So look, you
then
talk
drop
about
on
going up
Christmas time.
against. One of the things you talk about the schedule, and this year I could talk from experience. I didn't get to watch MLS Cup. The weekend of MLS Cup was college football championship weekend. I went to the Big Ten championship game. I didn't get to watch a minute of it. But you talk about the schedule and where the MLS playoffs are going to come in. You're going to be competing right around towards the end there, depending on what the format is at that time. You're going to be right up against the NBA and the NHL finals. So just the thing to throw out there. And I know
Not the
that's
finals,
like every single day.
but the semi and conference finals, yes.
Well,
Because it's supposed
usually,
to end late May, and the
I
finals
thought it
for the
started
Stanley
around
Cup,
May.
No, what they said is that the MLS
So it
Cup
says
is going to
May
be
is the
played in
MLS
late
Cup.
May. So assume that it's going to be like the weekend of Labor Day. Oh, I'm sorry, Memorial Day. So I'm assuming it'll be the weekend of Memorial Day, more or less around that time. And
Okay.
the MLS, I'm sorry, the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals are in June. So yes, it will be
Yeah, early
up
June.
against maybe the semifinals, conference finals. But
Yeah.
and I also think it's going to be a shorter format, because they said that the playoffs are going to be played in the month of May. So expect a shorter format,
Maybe.
which I'm looking forward to, because I don't want that 3-game first round crap. And I also think that it might be a condensed playoff. Maybe they'll cut it down to just 16 teams instead of the what is it that makes it now 20, basically, with the play-in games, or not 18.
Did
I'm
Wilfred
sorry.
Nancy tell you to say that?
I've always hated this format, but no, he did not.
Just checking. I saw his rant today.
I haven't seen it. I read about it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Another
I
thing
just-
that go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just no. Go ahead. I think you might be getting to it.
No, another thing I was going to say is that break in the wintertime, I get it. I think that they might play something in there, but I also like that they're starting in July. Like, I thought that they would be starting up around the same time as the NFL, but they're starting in mid-July. If they're starting in mid-July, that means that they're getting started and there's still not a lot of things happening. You got NFL training camp starting, NFL preseason. Okay, that's fine. But you're getting started right in the middle of July, which I think is good. And if the season ends in late May, all you're doing is going the month of June without MLS soccer. And even then, you might have preseason games at the end of June, maybe beginning of July. So you're getting a lot of MLS even in the summertime, whether it be preseason, you got transfer news, you got a bunch of stuff going on. Because if they're starting in mid-July, you're really not having a huge break from MLS soccer if the MLS Cup ends at the end of May. You're really just having the month of June and the month of January, which are basically off. Other than that, you have 10 months of MLS pretty consistently. And like I said, and I still expect like a Leagues Cup somewhere in there.
Well, I honestly think that it helps that they're doing it in this fashion, especially for the winter break, because they're not going to compete against the NFL. And it's going to be crunch time when it goes from 2026 to 2027, because that speeded up season that they brought up in one of the slides that you mentioned, that's going to be like a 2-month slamma jamma where you're just squeezing in that season in the beginning. Then all of a sudden, boom, next season's coming right around the corner.
But you don't like that? I like that. I was against this, and I talked to Will from MLS Moves. He's somebody in the chat just brought him up. I talked to him about this, and me and him debated this constantly because I hated this idea. But now that I see it laid out with them starting in mid-July, it ending in late May, the January month off, and the fact that you're really not going to have a lot of downtime without MLS, you know what? I don't dislike it as much. I actually kind of like it.
I agree with you because I was in the same boat. I argued with Will last year as well about it because you think about the summer and you've got the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, and then when it's over, it's basically just MLS, WNBA, and Major League Baseball. That's really what you have here. So you do have you still have a small portion of your year where it's basically just MLS if that's what you have. And that was my worry because selfishly, I get bored in the summer and I need something to look forward to watch. And now it's okay, like right after
You're gonna have a lot.
4th of July-ish, you're on. And I mean, cool.
And if you're not just a casual fan, if you're like us, because I think that it's safe to say we're diehard fans of our teams. And I think, me talking personally, and you guys agree with me if you want, one of my favorite times of the year is the off season, just because of all the news and rumors. There's a lot of talking points, a lot of fun, not just in the MLS, but in all sports. The off season is fun. So if you tell me that when the NBA Finals is over, when the Stanley Cup is over, and our season's over, we have a solid 3 to 4 weeks where it's basically just rumors, transfer window, and then preseason, and then you get rocking and rolling again. I'm not hating it. I'm actually kind of liking this layout. And then Soccer Daddy, I didn't get to see what Soccer Daddy wrote, but I've been swayed.
Coming for Americans.
Thanks, MLS. Yeah, look, I've been swayed. I've been swayed, and I'm not hating it as much as I did at one point. The start, the end. I don't know if they're going to do that with Leagues Cup. I do think that having the season start when it is going to benefit a lot in Champions Cup also, because I think when Champions Cup starts and we are in the preseason mode and the Liga MX teams are halfway through the season and they're in a good flow, I think that's why MLS is usually at a disadvantage in that aspect also. I think there's a lot of positives to pull from here. I think the only negative, and you guys can add in any negatives you can think of any, the only negative I can think of right now is the weather. The weather in those late November, December games, and then especially the February games, because February is very cold also. No matter what Will from MLS Moves wants to tell you, February is very cold also. But outside of December and February weather games, I think that there's not many negatives to this.
The break,
it is.
We got it. Well, hold on 1 second, Chris. I was going to say with the breaks, you need. Oh, he's frozen. But when you think about the break that you have, it's very unique to the United States having that big of a break in the middle of a season. So I am interested to see how certain people that maybe don't follow other leagues, how they're going to react to that break, and how many maybe get interested in the season when it starts. And then when the break happens, I don't know if I'm going to go back to, especially if my team starts 0-4 or 0 and whatever it is, or have a terrible record. It's like, oh, we're coming back. Yeah, but like this team's already out of it by now. That would be the only thing, because you talk about what the uniqueness of this league is in just taking the United States in general. That is one unique thing that I'm interested to see how people react to.
Yes. And again, I think that I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any rumors, and I actually haven't heard anybody bring it up. This is just me thinking, I think that there has to be something, because these players can't go from playing and then just randomly taking a month and a half off. There has to be some type of Leagues Cup tournament, something. They stopped the league for the Leagues Cup 2 years in a row. Don't you remember? They took a month off the season. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again. I mean, they've done it before. They can do it again. They're going to do it this upcoming season for the World Cup. So this is nothing new scheduling-wise. I think that's one avenue that you might see with the Leagues Cup.
I have a question here because Soccer Daddy is asking, MLS will be top 6 after this change. Do you think that's formidable? Because I feel like this is a good move in terms of in the next 10, 20 years. But is this a legitimate perspective here?
I don't think so. At least not top six and not this fast. I've always said that in 10 years, like 2020, 2034, 2035, I think that this league has a chance to be top 8, maybe top 6, but that's, I think, down the line. But there has to be a change in salary also, because the schedule helps. Until there's a change in the salary, it'll never be able to compete with those European leagues. But I do think that it can get there. And I also think that this change in calendar is the beginning of us adapting to the rest of the world, right? Like we've been very hesitant. We have our salary cap. We want the parity. We want our own schedule. Now, this is the first kind of domino to fall. Boom. Now we're going to have the same calendar. What's the next domino to fall? I would assume the loosening a little bit of the salary cap. I don't think that they're ever going to go all the way, but I do think that you will see that loosen. Is it going to happen in 2027? I don't know. I think it would be smart to do it that year just so you can kind of hit the ground running with some bigger names. But I do think that this is going to help in the long run. Top 6 immediately? I don't think so. But in 10 years, I definitely think that it can make its way up there.
Well, Euro snobs are always going to want it to be exactly the same as Europe. And you got a lot of those people in the United States that just say, why isn't it like Europe? Why isn't there? So immediately those people are going to be like, finally, MLS has listened and they've made that change. So those people are going to shut up. But let's face the fact, a lot of the Euro snobs are never going to care about MLS ever. They're always going to compare MLS to Europe. So I don't think it's going to change a lot of people.
Can I just say one thing before you keep going? I don't want them to like MLS. Let them keep watching games that they can never attend.
I kind of don't want them to like MLS too. I want them to stay there over the pond. Just get out.
Stay. Go keep rooting for teams that you'll never watch in person.
Or Blackhawk fan or whatever team you watch that always gets pro'd and railed 45 times. Sure.
And if you are a European fan of soccer that just enjoys MLS, awesome. But if you're that guy that watches them, but then when you watch MLS, all you do is just talk crap about MLS, just stop watching.
They don't watch MLS. They don't watch any game. They just hear about MLS. They see it on the ESPN app and remember that it exists. And then they're like, time to talk shit about it. That's exactly what it is.
There is one more bit of news that we haven't touched on that came out today, and is Apple TV. They have now axed the MLS season pass, which I don't know why it was a thing to begin with. So now if you just have Apple TV, period, then you have all access to all the MLS games. It's better. I don't know if it's fantastic. I remember the point that Tommy brought up is always one that I love that he brought up, and I had never heard it until he said it, where if you go to a bar, you're never going to see an MLS game because they're not going to have Apple TV. So I think that still sucks. But I do like that at least now it's because they made people pay basically 2 paywalls. You had to get Apple TV and the MLS pass, which was ridiculous. So bravo for getting rid of that crap.
Well, for us that we're season ticket holders, we got it included for free. Anybody that's a season ticket holder, you get MLS season pass. Now you still have to pay for the Apple paywall, right? But now you don't have to pay MLS. But if one of our buddies wants to watch it, like you said, they got to pay double. And now, thankfully, they just pay the Apple TV and they can watch Severance. And then after that, watch an MLS game.
Ted Lasso season 4.
Ooh,
coming up.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was curious if that was going to change, because I've been noticing a lot on like specifically DraftKings all season. Like even at the beginning, they were doing things like make a $5 MLS bet and we give you the season for free. Like I was like, when they usually do things like that, you think that maybe, I know they want to get you in on the gambling of MLS, but still it seemed odd that they were offering the entire season like right there. And it's a good move overall here, because we're never going to get the real numbers for this, but the goal is to get more eyes on it. Now, I don't know how many people actually subscribe to Apple TV, because I actually pulled it up.
Because El Bigote right here has what I think more or less what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Hugo. I appreciate that you're jumping on with us. What does
Yeah.
this tell you about the numbers, though? That's concerning from a business standpoint. Yeah, they don't just give up on a paywall. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the way business
Yeah.
works. If they decided to bring it down, it wasn't because of the love of the game. It wasn't because we appreciate the fans. It's because, well, this isn't working out, so let's bring this down. So yes, I said good job from them, but let's be real. They did it because it wasn't working, not because they care about us.
Well, and to the point down here, the comment about T-Mobile giving it away for free. They give away MLB, they give away MLS for free
Yes.
here. So some people just didn't have to pay for it anyways, like the season ticket holders. But the goal is to get more eyes on it. Now, I don't know how many people just have Apple TV, and if you don't know this, we talk about this on Scarves and Spikes all the time. They just recently came out with a bundle deal that you could get Peacock and Apple TV as a combo for cheaper. So that gives you Premier League and it gives you MLS for a cheaper price if you bundle it together. So if you didn't know that, that does
Is it not?
exist.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
check that because I am getting gouged by these services. Every
Yeah.
month I'm getting an email like, hey, sorry, we just raised your shit $7 a month.
I gave up on
Or you got to
Peacock,
pay for commercials at the 35th
yes.
minute of the game.
Yeah.
So annoying. I gave up on Peacock like 2 months ago when they got rid of the WWE, or however long it was. So I got rid of Peacock, which sucks because I used to basically, whenever I was doing anything, The Office was always playing in the background because I just love that show.
Yeah,
and I
but
haven't
then
had it in a
that
while,
went
so-
to like a third string streaming service.
No, it's still on Peacock, I think.
Yeah,
'Cause
NBC
Peacock
owns
is
that.
NBC.
Oh, it
yeah,
is?
NBC, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's NBC. NBC
I
owns
just
Peacock.
read NBC Sports is coming back.
I didn't know.
I saw a
NBA on
tweet about it
NBC.
like before we hopped on. NBC Sports is coming back, which
Oof.
I thought that was dead.
I don't know, but NBA on NBC was really cool.
It is
And-
fantastic. I enjoy
and-
every minute of it.
Tomorrow night it's the Knicks and Heat, and you get to listen to the NBC intro, which is I always think back to the Chicago Bulls playing on NBC on the
Just
weekends.
Good
Gives me
presentation, for
goosebumps every
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's that 90s nostalgia, I think. All right, so that happened with Apple TV, and then we got the calendar change. And just get Jamaican Justin to give you the list. Shout out to Jamaican Justin Blair from Cincy Soccer Talk. If you guys want to hear a little Cincy talk, make sure you go check them out. So I don't think, Chris, did you bring up any negatives to the calendar change outside of weather?
I mean, look, outside of weather, they did well, like I said, when they have that break in the winter, because they're not competing against the behemoth of the National Football League. So that's good. Okay, you can compete against baseball and hockey, maybe basketball, just not in the playoffs. But in terms of structuring the calendar, I think that was right. But I think there has to be some consideration for the weather. But luckily, like you mentioned, they're only going to have to deal with a little bit of December and a little bit of February. By March, everything is going to
look
warm
at
up.
this calendar. This calendar shows you 12 months of the year. June and January are the only months without MLS soccer. And then when you look at June, there's a good chance that you're going to have some preseason or at least training camp going on. You have them in the news. We'll be talking about it because there'll be transfer rumors going on, things of that nature. And then in the winter break,
I think you're getting June and July.
Well, no, July is when it begins. Chris, right now the season starts.
But July
the season
31st.
starts.
It
No,
can
okay.
begin
Chris,
July
well, hear me
31st
out.
and they put
Hear
it in
me out.
July just to tickle your pickle.
Hear me out. In
That
July,
does feel nice.
in February, right, is right now when it starts. It starts February, what, 20 some odd, right?
The
28th
last week,
or
the last weekend,
Okay.
whatever the last weekend
Now,
is. Yeah.
Think about the last 2 years.
February.
Haven't teams been playing preseason games in late January already? A full month before?
Yeah, but they're
it starts
playing
last weekend of
Yeah,
January.
but they're playing like
right.
in private
and they show up
fields.
but they show up for training camp and they start playing games over a month before. So if the season starts in late July, you're going to be watching players in preseason games, things like that, in late June at the latest. You're talking about having a couple of weeks off.
But who cares about this preseason crap? Like I was gonna go
We
see
do.
New England practice up north in Florida. I mean, look, I cared enough that I was gonna drive north in Florida to go see Campana and the Revolution, and they were like, "Oh, you can't go. Only it's closed off. You can't go see them."
That's true.
And this is the shitty New England Revolution, and it's closed off.
So you're upset because you can't go watch the games?
Well, I mean, you're telling me like, oh, we got preseason to watch. Like, what? You're not watching anything. You're
Well,
getting
we're talking
updates
about
from
it.
a
We are
random
podcasters, so we're going to talk about
Right.
it.
We have things to
No,
talk
I
about. And
know,
I'm talking
but
about-
like,
and you have things to watch on TV.
you're getting
Yes, okay.
Franco.
I'm sorry, Chris. Look, the thing is,
You're
Chris,
getting Franco
I'm sorry,
to
Tommy, you
stand
don't
behind
know.
bushes and take pictures and video incognito. Dude's wearing a full-on ghillie suit,
The thing is,
giving
Tommy,
us
you have to
updates on
understand.
Twitter.
When Chris goes to games, he goes and he stays in his seat a good half hour after the game's over, hoping to get one of the players to wave at him.
Oh,
Like he is obsessed with seeing players in person and like
no,
waving
I
at them.
don't.
So
Has anyone,
this is why
has any
he's
of
so
them ever
upset.
touched you before? Have you like touched one of them?
Campana, I think.
Oh,
Yes. No, I
Yeah.
mean, not Campana, but hey, he's a hottie.
Was it like the 10 Commandments? Like your beard was all black, and then you touched Campana, and then the
And
gray
he turned
came
white.
in?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I like it in the aspect that I don't think that we're gonna have a lot of downtime because I think that there's gonna be MLS all the time, and then you have that winter break, which I'm telling you, I think that because where else would Leagues Cup fit in?
This damn Leagues Cup and the U.S. Open Cup, your favorite? Like we're,
Open Cup would end in October,
I don't
so
even
they'll be
see
playing some
where
of
that
those
can be
games.
squeezed in.
No, because
well, isn't there
usually
some games
Open
in,
Cup,
in June and July?
in June is usually the quarterfinals, and then they take a full break until like end of August where they play the semifinal. So it's already kind of built in. The
Maybe they
Open
changed
Cup
that
break.
though because of this.
No, I don't think. I would be surprised if the U.S. Soccer Federation kind of changes things just to appease the MLS with the beef that they've had back and forth with the teams competing in the tournament. And the Champions Cup, I think, you know what my favorite thing is? My favorite thing is that it's going to, as far as the European comparison, I like that the European leagues, the last game is the Champions League game, right? All the seasons end, and then the last weekend of May is the Champions League, and that's the champion of Europe. And the way that this kind of plays out, after the MLS Cup champion is decided, then you have that one game in the first weekend of June that decides the Champions Cup, which is the champion of CONCACAF. And I kind of like that that'll be, because that is the biggest trophy we have, and every season is going to end with that game. So I kind of like that also. Right now, if you win the biggest trophy possible, it's like, congratulations, you won the biggest trophy possible. 3 days later, you're playing against Seattle on a Tuesday. Like, you know, it's not as special.
On
You
YouTube.
could have threw Montreal in there, not to shit talk Seattle. You could be like, yeah, then you got to go to Montreal and play them.
Well,
You gotta
So,
play
I-
San Jose
I'm liking it.
Earthquakes.
the more I talk about
Hey,
it,
they
the
were
more I
fun.
like it.
Don't talk shit about the San Jose Earthquakes. They were a fun team to watch this season.
They were fun. They were fun.
Where did they?
Sporting
They were a fun
KC.
team. I mean, the attack was fun. Real quick, just to think about it too, because I was just hearing them talk about it in Atlanta. But think about their two big signings this offseason. It was Miguel Almiron and Latte Loth. Yeah, whatever. But they came in, and their excuse that they gave for these two players is they didn't have
They haven't had a
an
break.
offseason.
Yeah.
There was no break, and you hear that excuse all the time when you have people come in the winter, and then maybe they start off hot and then they die out. And I'm not saying that that's the reason why these two sucked. I'm just not. But you hear that excuse too often. But
Yeah.
it does make sense. Eventually, these guys do need breaks. And especially when you bring in these big name players, because a lot of teams prefer to bring their big name players in the winter as opposed to the summer. And those guys, they do need a break at some point. And then people get mad in the summer when they sit them for a couple of weeks to give them that break. That excuse isn't going to be there anymore. And that's more than fine.
The more I talk about it, the more I
Well,
like
at least you won't. At least you won't get the stupid rumors about Son wanting to play an extra 3
Oh.
months somewhere else just to
Get ready for the
just
World
to
Cup.
warm his Yeah, like get out of here, dude. What?
Oh, I mean, we've been
What is
on
he gonna do?
Messi
Join a rec league now?
mini transfer saga for a couple months. Oh, so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That hasn't been a saga. I don't even know who silly people are even entertaining that.
It's for clicks.
Yeah,
That's
like
all it is.
throwing him in like a USL type league in like freaking Greece. Like what? This is ridiculous.
People are saying that he might go to Barcelona.
I know,
again.
I'm exaggerating.
Oh,
I know, but then they mentioned some other rando team there that I've never. I mean, look, I'm not a big like Europe soccer snob, so like I don't know half of these teams. But there's a team that they mentioned him going to. I was like, what the hell is this?
Son's playing for Transylvania, the Transylvania League.
I can see that.
So stupid.
all right. So
it's positive. It's
okay. So I was about to say, as we close this out, and then I would love to chat in just a few words, and maybe we make some points that maybe you sway one way or the other.
Like or don't like.
Yeah, right. Like or dislike.
Are we doing the thumbs
Tommy.
up, thumbs down thing?
Yeah, I guess. Or you just like or dislike. Do you like the change?
As of right now, I'm giving it a little half wiggle, a half wiggle up, which before it was half a wiggle down. So it's an improvement.
All right. I'm gonna go out there and
It's-
say I like it. I like it. And the more I talk about it, the more I like it. So so I'm all in. I kind of wish it was starting next year.
Nobody tell MLS moves that we're saying.
I mean,
this,
I
though. We can't let him know that he won. We can't. If Will knows that he won, he'll never shut up about it. So nobody tell him what we're saying here.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because
I
talking to him
cannot
earlier today.
wait. I cannot wait to watch a Canadian Premier League-esque champion game happen in the MLS. I can't wait. Watch
It will be
Minnesota
fun.
versus Vancouver.
No, but they'll have a lot of away games. And like I am 100% sure they'll have like a 2 or 3 game road trip, like in I don't know December or to start
In
February.
Florida. Not everybody can play in Florida though, Danny. Like you're gonna have a,
Oh, but
a
not every place gets
of-
as cold. Like if you have to play in Atlanta in a dome, that's fine. If you have to play in Charlotte and it's 40-degree weather, well, tough luck. It's 40 degrees. You got to man up. We're trying to avoid frigid temperatures. But if you got to play in 40-degree weather, I'm sorry, you're a professional athlete. Toughen up.
Cincinnati
won't
is
get
literally
canceled.
mad because Cincinnati's literally mad right now because Inter Miami's game against them is at 5 p.m. and they can't use their home field advantage of freezing temperatures.
Are they upset?
Yes. Literally making fun of the team training with long sleeves.
That's
on Tuesday.
That's a fair complaint, though.
Okay, but then they're complaining about that. Imagine you're going to take away their snow games against Miami. What if they get locked in at February?
I don't think they want to play in the snow, but that's a fair complaint. It's like, hey, we have this advantage over the Miami team. Why are you taking it away from us? That's a fair complaint. You know what?
I mean, I went to the home opener last year in Columbus. The previous season, I went. It was the home opener. It was Columbus and Atlanta. It was like 30 degrees out there. The sun was out, but we were in the shade. I mean, I couldn't feel my fingers for about 24 hours. It was miserable. It really was. But if you have the team, the good team, the people will come. It was sold out. Obviously, like they just came off winning MLS Cup, so obviously people were super pumped about it. But still, it is miserable. But people go to the NFL. People go to NFL games. Bad NFL. If your team's good, the people will come.
Yeah,
Look at Buffalo. Look at Buffalo. They had to shovel. The fans shoveled their seats out to go attend a Buffalo game. If you're a good team, or if you're playing Messi in wherever, in New York, in whatever place it is, that place will still get packed because it's Messi showing up, and hopefully the New York team is good. So the fans will still show.
And that's what I was gonna say, that Buffalo, they shut up and they show up and they shovel the snow or whatnot. That's fair. But back in 2013, 2014, they weren't doing that. Like you said, it has to be a good team. Like if your team sucks, I'm not going to go and be miserable out in the frigid cold to watch my team get their ass kicked because they're not a good team. So I don't know how many people are going to be doing that. And Nick Smith said something that I heard, but I haven't gotten to read up on it, so I can't really speak to it too much. I don't know if either one of you two have read up on it, because I did hear some people tweet about it, but I don't know any specifics about a new alignment with one table.
That was the rumor that I heard, and I didn't get a chance to watch the full press conference before I hopped on, but that was a rumor that they were going to bring that up in this conference. Did they not bring that up officially?
I didn't have a chance to watch it either. I only got to the snippets of the official changes, but I haven't seen anything about a realignment. Single table and I don't know how a single table would work with 30 teams. I mean, I guess it could work, but that's I don't know. Okay, that's interesting. So we'll see. All right.
Do you like that? Would you like that?
A single table for 30 teams? No. I mean, I guess it's just along the same lines. It's like the supporter shield chase, and then you just get the top, 16 teams or 8 teams to be in the playoffs. You know what I would like? I would like for them to do this, but just have 10 teams make the playoffs.
Oh, they'll never do that. They want money and revenue from there. But yeah, it is. They did announce single table with divisions.
Oh, really? Okay. So I see 5
It'll be
divisions.
interesting. So
5 divisions. So could they do the top 2
That
teams?
sounds very pro rally preparing.
Yeah.
No.
So too much money involved there, but that would make interesting playoff matchups where you could see some different playoff, because you don't get to see everybody play everybody all the time here.
I have a feeling that maybe, so you think maybe like 10, 12 team playoffs, the top 2 teams in each division, maybe. I don't know. That's interesting. I'm interested to see how that's going to work.
I don't like it just because when you have the East and the West playoffs and how it's set up, you're creating rivalries of teams.
Yeah.
And you think about when you look at the NBA, the NHL specifically, and even in the NFL, because you always want to see the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens, because they've been the 2 best teams here in a while, and you want to see those teams meet up. And the NBA, you see the 2 teams play at the same time. For me, back in the day,
Heat always whoop the Knicks' ass and stuff.
Yeah, and back in the day, for me, it was the Red Wings and the Anaheim Ducks would always play each other. But you've been creating rivalries through the playoffs and big matchups here, and that's something that you could lose potentially in this. Because you might because you're more likely in a playoffs where you could play anybody on the West Coast and East Coast. It doesn't really do that. Like Columbus and Cincinnati, this best of 3. Like when I saw that come in, I was like, oh hell yeah. My team's not in it, but I want mass chaos. And that was a really, really good series here.
Yeah.
And if we're going to move away from some of those type of things, because look, if you told me it was a best of 3 between Cincinnati and the Galaxy, I'm not going to give a shit about it. I'm just not, because there's no story there. But I know that when it's the East, but I know it's the best, but still, that's the one thing I do like about the best of 3 here, is that when you do get 2 teams that really hate each other, and teams that have legitimate rivalries, because some rivalries are forced, but the Ohio rivalries there, the Galaxy and LAFC, like when you have that and you say, when you're looking on decision day and you're like, hell yeah, this is the matchup that we could get for 3 games. That's cinema, and that series, it was cinema.
Yeah, it was. And when Columbus took the lead in that 3rd game, I thought that they might actually pull it off. It was that was one of the few series that I enjoyed going 3 games. But yeah, I can see that point, but we'll see. Like I said, I haven't read into it. Interesting to see how that plays out, and I don't know. Let me not say too much, because I don't know the specifics. All right, Chris, go ahead. I knew you were gonna say something. Or not?
Looks like he's in.
I totally forgot what I was gonna say, and my internet is crappy.
All right. Well,
I was on with you guys like 2 months ago. You haven't upgraded by now?
No, he refuses. This is Chris logic. Yeah, let me hit you with Chris logic. I need a new computer, but I saw the top of the line one. So if I can't afford to get that one right now, I'd rather just keep my crappy computer, although I podcast on a regular basis.
I don't
You're
want to
great.
get some mid-ass computer and have the same problems. I want
It
quality.
doesn't have to be mid. You can get a good one. You just don't get the best one.
Let's start a GoFundMe.
I don't want to get a good one. That's like a mid-tier computer. I mean, we could do that too. I mean, but I'm still gonna wait to get the really good one. I'm not gonna buy some mid-ass shit.
Look, Soccer Daddy's gonna donate to your computer, Chris.
Or just dance on the weekends, buddy. Like that's all you got to do. Just get a little side gig. One night, you're
I
gonna
already
get
have.
enough.
I already have a computer back here.
There you
Does
go.
it suck?
Doesn't work. See,
Start an
It's,
OnlyFans,
hold on,
dude.
let
Do
me see if I
something,
can
man.
Put it back here. See, hold on. It's right there. See, there's a computer right there. It doesn't like it's not good.
It looks like you work in a
That was
cubicle.
worse than this one.
Or do you podcast? Is your house a cubicle? You
No,
live in a
this
cubicle?
I had to change. I just moved a bunch of furniture, so now I got the back screen door there.
Your old setup was better. You had the
Tommy,
family
yeah,
back
what's-
there, all that.
You got your Christmas tree up already?
I got
No
half
way,
the Christmas
dude, that's
decorations
criminal.
up, just not the tree. Just not the tree.
No, I don't know
can't-
if you guys remember our Battered Heron's worst episode ever in episode 98. We recorded that on my birthday, September 13th, 2023, and you had a Christmas tree in the background.
Yeah.
In September.
Yes, I remember that.
The day
So-
after Halloween, I came home from a jog, and I walked in the house. Christmas music was playing. My two kids were putting up all the decorations. The only thing wasn't the tree. The tree would have been up if Tina was not hungover that day, because she was way hungover and she slept till like 2 p.m. So that's the only reason why the tree is not currently up in our household.
We put up our tree on Veterans Day. So
That's
we already
criminal.
got the tree up.
Every year? That's
No, this is the first time we ever do it.
Oh, I was like, is there a story behind why Veterans Day is the day you put it up?
No, because we were home. Everybody had
Okay.
the day off.
That makes
And
sense.
yeah, so we just decided
It
to just
doesn't
do
go
it.
up a second before Black Friday. Literally after
Black
Thanksgiving.
Friday isn't
it's-
even a thing anymore, man.
First of all, like the fact that you probably have a fake Christmas tree is criminal to begin with.
I
You
hate
have to get
Christmas
real
trees.
Christmas tree.
They smell
You're
horrible.
weird.
I agree
That's
with
what
I'm
you
allergic to them, so yeah.
Yeah, they smell horrible.
Listen, I'm sorry for you, Tommy, but like a law of the land for me is real Christmas tree, and that's it.
Real Christmas
That's
tree,
it.
cheap ass computer. That's Chris's life.
Listen, and I don't go for just a 6-footer. I'm talking 10-footer, baby. Like the
You don't get no
149, 129. Yes,
It's not
I
the size
have.
of the tree that matters,
I
buddy.
have.
You probably read
It's
that
not
on a
ornament.
master
That
wall
ye-
somewhere. That's not how it works.
I
That's not
do.
how it works.
Listen, Danny knows I go ham for my ornaments. I got tons of ornaments.
That I do have as well. Do you guys do a Christmas show?
Yes.
You know, my wife
You
wanted
guys
to
run
make sure-
ours.
I don't think we did.
My wife wants to clarify
Yes, I
because like
remember.
she's listening in the other room. She wants to make sure that I specify that it's not a Christmas tree that we put up. Apparently, we put up a fall tree, that which will at some point become a Christmas tree.
What in the hell is that?
What is it? A Power Ranger and it morphs from that
It's
into
gonna morph. It's gonna morph. I think she was doing good, asking me to
Bring her
clarify
on.
that. I think
Get her
I
on the.
think
Is she camera
she would've-
ready?
she would've- no, she would've
I
come
I
on
need a full
camera.
explanation of this.
She's probably gonna hate me.
She's laughing in the background. She's not gonna come on here.
We need we need a backstory of this.
Yeah, there is no backstory. She's just this was my way of, because if it was up to me, I'd put up my Christmas tree after my birthday. Like I love Christmas, and I think
When's
the
your
fact that we September 13th.
That's
So I think the
September
fact that-
13th. What?
So the fact that we have to cram,
Before mine.
if we have to cram all the Christmas joy into 3 weeks, I think it's a crime. I love Christmas so much. I wish I could spread it out and just extend it just a little bit. So my wife finally threw me a bone this year. She said, fine, we'll put it up a little earlier. And that's what we did. We put it up this week. So I get to celebrate Christmas with the tree and everything for a month and a half.
You have no respect for Thanksgiving.
Okay. She just said, and make sure that you mentioned that we changed the ornaments, because right now we technically don't have all the ornaments up. We're going to do that after Thanksgiving, all like the really Christmassy stuff. Right now it's just lights and a couple things there.
Okay. I had a friend that never put it. Because I
You're
didn't take
You
mine
guys
down.
are diabolical. And tell
I had a
Jenny,
friend that had.
Sean says this whole thing is criminal.
Yes, Sean says the whole thing is criminal. Oh, I'm sure she's either watching in the other room or she'll watch it later. She'll see the chat.
Oh boy.
She said, "Oh no."
Well, after she hear all the shit we're talking, she's not going to come back for the chat.
She said, "Oh no." All right. Yeah. So calendar. The more I talked about it, the more I love it. I'm ready for it. I wish it was in 2026. 2027 is fine. It's going to be a very awkward little short 14-game season. The only good thing about that
I don't think we've talked about that enough. I know you probably got to go. You got school in the morning.
No.
That's going to be
we
weird.
Probably should. Probably should. And the fact that we had this Christmas talk right before it, people probably aren't going to stick around for it, but we'll have it anyway. A 14-game season. I'll tell you why I like it. Kind of like the NFL season. Every game matters.
It's true.
And I think that that's really cool because you have 14 games. You lose one game, you're already in jeopardy. Well, I mean, half the league makes it, but still, I think it's really cool. So it's going to be 14 games, 7 home, 7 away, I would assume. Now, Miami will still charge you probably full price for a full season for those 7 games, but I'm still looking forward to it because I think it'll be fun. And also for those of you that are interested in Messi, he signed through 2028, was it?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I told you that the chances are is that he was signing through 2028 because the season would end in May and Copa America would be on right after. So he's going to play through that summer. It wouldn't be till the end of 2028. But for that shortened season, 2027, 14 games, I kind of, it's interesting. I knew it had to happen for the conversion to work. Chris, your thoughts on the 14-game regular season?
More soccer. I like it. I like more soccer.
Tommy?
It'll be interesting.
It's just
I mean,
MLS is back to.
But you know who?
I mean, it is. I mean, but what you said, like every game does matter. But and Chris, you started the show with it, and you talked about that it's going to be like a little asterisk because nobody thought the Lakers really won. It was New York that won MLS Cup.
COVID.
Well,
Did
it was like I think they won MLS.
Back?
Well, not yeah. So MLS back was that whole thing there, but I think the first next season because it was still a COVID-y type season. I think that New York
NYCFC won it.
No, they won it in 2021
against Philly.
Yeah, but that was still a year where like
right.
the fans weren't there the entire season and people still said weird things about it. Whatever. It was. Remember, 2021 was still a weird year.
Who won it in 2020?
Ooh, that's a good question. In
I think
2020 to finish
I think
off
we all
the
just
2020
took. I think the only reason why we remember the Lakers is because everyone shit on LeBron, saying he had to win a COVID cup there. But I think everything else, like nobody really remembered who won anything.
Columbus won it in 2020. They beat Seattle.
Because Darlington Nagbe had COVID and he didn't get to play that game. Holy shit! I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had forgotten because. And then 2021, NYCFC won their first championship because Philly was far and away the better team, but half their team couldn't play the Eastern Conference Finals because they had COVID. So that's why I called it the COVID chip for NYCFC because they lucked out that Philly couldn't come out with the full squad, and they still almost lost that game.
That was it.
Yep. Weird times.
But it will be fun. I think it fans are going to shit on that season when time comes. They're going to complain about it if they don't make the playoffs.
But
and
if their team doesn't win, if their team wins,
but
like,
even Chris has already said that like he's going to shit on it even if Miami wins. I don't believe that.
You believe him
for a minute? No, absolutely not. He's going to be on here taking his shirt off, chugging beers like Stone Cold Steve Austin if they end up winning MLS Cup. So I don't believe anything that this guy says. But I mean, it's something temporary. Everyone's going to shit on it, but it will be cool. But the playoff format, I do agree. They do need to figure something out here. But I have a feeling just because of the money involved that they're not going to move to a single elimination thing. And just remember, everybody, when you just had single elimination across from beginning to end, that first round, and I still think that's why MLS did it besides the money, is you just had the lower team always just sitting back, hoping to get to penalties. Orlando had that. I forget who they ended up playing in that round when the one single elimination here. And it was miserable. That first round was absolutely terrible because that's the playbook you don't want to play against LAFC or Miami and go toe to toe and try to win 4-3. No, you want to
Right.
win 1-0, or you want to go to 0-0, go to penalties and try to knock them out. That was shit. Those games were terrible. And everything has a positive and a negative. Same thing when you were just playing the 2-leg thing. The first team that had the home leg in round 1, they're like, all right, we just can't fuck it up. We just can't go down 2-0 on goal differential, and then we move.
And we get
So,
because our
so
goals count as more away. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so there's always something. They got to be able to figure something out that makes money for MLS, that they're happy, and then just makes the fans happy. But fans are never happy, so we're never going to figure out anything that anybody likes.
Well, I'm looking forward to the short season. I think, in the NBA players that participated in the bubble say that that's the hardest championship to win. Like, you were like locked in. So everybody was like, there was no party, no nothing. Everybody was just locked in. Just no home court advantage. Everybody just locked in, just balling. And everybody said that was a very difficult championship to win. But everybody just likes to discredit
made
LeBron.
it too.
But yeah, the Heat made it to the final. Yeah, also, because it was just like, if you just grind, just ball. So,
Yeah.
All right. Any final words there, Mr. Chris?
The Heat are lucky that Jalen Brunson is injured, because if not, it'd be pain this Friday. I just want to mention that.
And Monday.
And well, Monday, but Friday is when they play NBA on NBC, where I get to hear the intro. So that matters to me more.
I agree. Tommy, any final words?
The season's not over. It feels like it's over because we're on this break right now. It sucks. Like, my team's not in it, but like, you guys obviously advance. But if you can get rid of this entire situation in the playoffs, where you don't have
this
a
will also
2-week,
go away.
absolutely, and that's probably, and we didn't talk about it, but I think that's probably the most important thing in this world right now, is that the MLS playoffs. It's like, oh baby, we just won the best of 3. Let's go. You know what? Let's just go take a little nap. 2-week nap here, and then we'll get pumped again. That's the shitty part about this playoffs. And now that's going to go away. And I want to see how this format works with this now.
I am with you. I think that they can get rid of this little break, because like they said, they plan on playing the playoffs in 1 month. So I think that gets rid of the 3-game playoff first round. It'll be single elimination and none of these international breaks. And then real quick, Esteban Mejia, love it. Nick's excuses. Yeah, because Jalen Brunson, I believe, did play when the Heat beat them just a couple weeks ago, where they were missing Tyler Hero. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, he did, but that was a weird game overall. It's very early in the season, okay, Danny? People are getting warmed up,
So if you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us a comment and 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back next week talking second round. Maybe talking a little Tata Martino, which we're supposed to talk about today, but maybe we'll talk about next week. Maybe we'll talk about some suspension. Because I know Chris wanted to talk about suspensions, because he wants everybody suspended all of a sudden because Suarez got suspended, which I think is a dumb take.
Absolutely.
But we can yell about that next week, because I do want to yell at you, because I think that's such a dumb take that you have. But we'll leave that for next week.
MLS still has time.
We appreciate everybody watching, and until the next one, have a good one.
See ya.